everyone, welcome back. And this is my review of Golden Time, episode 3. Entitled Nightscape. Yeah, so this episode definitely got a lot better. And something I forgot to mention in the last episode review, so I guess I'll just mention it now because it wasn't really referenced in this episode either, so kind of do have an issue with it, is that at the end of the first episode there was that scene with someone getting struck, or at least it looked like he was going to get struck by a car. I'm not sure if it was Bonnery or if it was someone else, but I don't know why that's not referenced at all. But anyways, at the beginning of this episode, we have a scene with, Bonnery walking, looking really wounded through like a forest, I think it is, or at least a place with a lot of trees. And then he ends up waking up, so that was just all a dream. Alright, so in this episode basically revolves around Bonnery and Kaga attempting to join up with the laid-back club, as they like to call it. Alright, however, they quickly find out that this is not exactly the club they want to join. I'm not exactly sure what you would call it, though. They basically seem like a lot of religious fanatics. Not sure if I don't think you could really call it a cult, because I don't think they haven't really been actually shown yet, anyways, doing a lot of generic cult activities. Alright, so I don't know if you'd really call it a cult. I don't think you would. But it's something, though, and it's really, they quickly find out that they don't want to be in that club. There's actually a good friend of Bonnery's revealed in this episode, and his name is not here. I think his last name was like Takia, or not Takia. Hold on a sec, what was it? This is gonna bother me, I'm sorry. Okay, I met him the other day at the tea club. Alright, so one thing I was gonna say is maybe he's like a old friend of Bonnery's, but I guess he just met him at this school, whatever his name is though. He ends up attempting to join along with a lot of these other students, but once they explain what the club's really about, which is being religious fanatics apparently, he decides to back out, and Kaga was going to back out originally, but decided to come on back. And however, after a little while longer, both Kaga and Bonnery decide to escape, and they're being chased. I guess this is too late for them to back out then. And they're being chased by these fucking fanatics, religious fanatics. So, yeah, it's not exactly a club that they want to be in, apparently, and I honestly don't blame them. So, yes. Alright, and then there's my favorite scene in the episode, though, is when they're walking through the forest. For a little while they end up, I guess, escaping these religious fanatics, so then they sit down in the forest and start talking, and I really love this conversation because back at the club area, Bonnery tells a story that at first we're meant to believe is fake, but in reality it was actually true, is that he ends up getting hit really hard when he was younger and basically losing all of his memories of his entire life, long-term memory and short-term memory from before the accident, so he basically had to relearn everything. And it must have been when he was really young, because these now he seems to be perfectly normal. Like, you wouldn't have known he had amnesia before he explained it, you know. So it must have been when he was really young, so that he had enough time to basically relearn everything and basically look and act perfectly normal, as if he never even had to begin with. The only thing is, he does, like, his life with his parents, his life with his friends, his life with other acquaintances, all gone. He had to relearn it all. Alright. And he does explain this later on to Kaga as this actually did happen. It was actually true. Alright, and it actually sounds really moving in a way the way he explains it, and it's clear that it's moved Kaga a bit. Alright. And Kaga also explains that a bit more in detail about how much she loves Mitsuo, about how much she doesn't feel like her life is worth living unless if she's not with him, because she's always been with him, you know. And she explains that in the first episode when she hit him with the roses, which I like that they actually reference that again. Usually stuff like that they don't really explain in these types of series, but that's actually explained, which I actually kind of like that. She did that basically because she was filled with rage because she hadn't seen him for 4 months, and throughout his entire life he was planning on going to different colleges as her, even though he told her that he was going to go to the same college. She knew that way ahead of time, so she secretly signed up for the same college as him, although she was hoping that he would eventually come clean, and he didn't. So basically all this boiled up to a lot of rage that she had inside her, which is why she beat him with roses, even though she was originally planning on just congratulating him and giving him the roses. She just couldn't take it anymore. But now she does have regrets for it. Alright, she does regret it now. And that was definitely my favorite part in the episode. So the only major thing I didn't really like about this episode was these religious fanatics. And I really hope that they don't become a huge part of the series, or my opinion on this series will definitely go down, okay? I hate religious fanatics, and I really hope that these guys aren't a huge part of the series. Like, if they're here, I really hope they're not there at all after this episode, or at least next episode, because of what happened at the end of the episode, which I'll talk about in a second. But if they're here and there, you know, but I'm not really focused on heavily. I'll hate it, but I won't hate the series for it. I'll just hate those moments. If they're a huge part of the series, I will hate the series. Period. Okay. But anyways, now about what happened at the end of the episode. We have a scene where this Linda chick, which I don't remember if we saw her previously in the episode or not, or previously in the series or not in the previous 2 episodes, but apparently she's like she was in the last episode. I think she's the one who saved the I'm gonna see if it says here, but I think she's the one who saved in the last episode Bonri from a lot of those club recruiters here. Linda is a second-year student and member of the Japanese Festival Culture Research Society. Leaving out the details, she invites Bonri and Coco to join. She went to high school with Bonri. Okay, that wasn't revealed yet. So yeah, so she comes up right as Coco and Bonri are able to see the flashlights supposedly of those religious fanatics, and then she ends up finding them, and that's basically where the episode ends, on a cliffhanger right there. So yeah, so overall, except for those religious fanatics, this was a fantastic episode. Alright, and there's 2 ways that this could go here. Either Coco could end up with Mitsuo in the end, because I know she's going to end up with someone in the end, or it could actually go the other way and she ends up with Bonri in the end, because a lot of times with these romantic comedies, tend to do is that, like, the main female will end up with will end up with the other guy. She's at first not really interested in that way. And in this conversation that they had, it really made me think of that. Made me think that might happen. All right. So yeah, and that's really all I have to say. The animation once again was on par. It was acceptable. It wasn't amazing animation. It was acceptable, and the music was really good once again. So yeah. Anyways, overall, hope you enjoyed this review, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.